Welcome back to Cycling Unboxed, and today we are up in the mountains and I've got a bike that is very well designed for the mountains. This one right here. It comes in at 5.5 kilos. I don't have scales on me, but I can confirm that from the owner. And basically, I want to show you guys this bike because it has a bunch of cool things on it, and maybe it will give you some inspiration or products on how to make your bike lighter as well. So let's get into it. So I'm going to kick you off with the frame. It's a Cannondale SuperSix Evo High Mod. And well, it's back in that rim brake era when the frames were just very, very light. I don't know the exact weight of the frame itself here, but it's quite nice in this like carbon matte black. The owner is thinking about sanding the paint job down and just getting a clear coat lacquer over the top. So you should be able to save a few grams there. Although I'd imagine the paint on here is fairly light anyway. So reckon a 50 gram saving, or maybe 80, 90 on the higher end. So when it's done, maybe we'll find out. If I know in the future, I'll put it in the description down below. But starting at the top with all the different products on here. First of all, we've got the Schmolke carbon handlebar. I mean, if I get a close up, you can really see the carbon. And it's a very cool carbon weave in there. It looks awesome, but this is a 42 wide bar, a little bit wider for modern standards, but so you could shave a couple of grams there if you really wanted to, but good enough bar as it is. Then on the stem here, we've got an altitude mount. This is really cool. It's just a very light carbon piece. And well, you can't really get any less material than that on there, can you? As we move to where it's attached to an MC FK stem, and on top of that we've got some lightweight bearings. So we've got FSA in the bottom, and then the top one up here is a Cane Creek bearing. So lightweight bearings top and bottom, just to shave a little bit more weight into the headset there. One thing I do really love about this bike is that we've just got a regular Selle Italia SLR boost on there, and well, of course it's carbon railed, but it's nothing crazy lightweight, not like those ultra thin carbon slithers. It's just a regular saddle. We've managed to get this bike to 5.5 kilos with that on there. But if we go down to the seat post, we've got the Daramo seat post, and one thing I found very interesting on here is that to clamp it down, it's usually like kind of like nylon string to hold and clamp it down. I mean, it works very well. I haven't seen it be destable on it at all, but I just thought it was really unique just to have like a string. And I can see how it saves weight. String is obviously very light, because sometimes you can get the stringed spokes as well. Down for the Daramo seat post, we also have a Daramo clamp. And once again, this thing is very unique. It almost looks like a kind of carbon string. I'm being told that it is a solid piece, but of course it's a very lightweight clamp on there. Really unique, but very cool. Going down onto the brake system, so starting off with the brake cables, we've got the Jaguar braking cables housings there, just to make the shifting a bit smoother and a bit crisper. But as we get onto the brakes, we're on the EE brakes, so these are quite a work of art themselves. Very well machined. I haven't used them personally, but I can imagine they save a little bit of weight there. They just look pretty, really. And it's probably one of the places where if you wanted to, you could actually save a good chunk of weight on a rim brake bike. Moving down onto the bottle cages, once again, nothing too crazy here. Just normal elite bottle cages, not trying to save a crazy amount of weight. Something functional that works really well. And of course, if you want to save a bit more weight, take them off or have a lighter bottle cage in there. Let's move on to the group set itself. Running a normal Dura-Ace Di2 11 speed, so a little bit less gears on the back, but still a great working group set, the one that I ride as well. Of course, if you really wanted to on this bike, you could go down to a mechanical, because of course you've got, you know, wires and batteries and stuff in here just for this group set. So if you wanted to shave a bit more weight, you could, but the Di2 works so well, it's almost hard to not have it on there. Moving down onto the crank, we have the SI SL2s, and these are the Cannondale's own hollow crank. So these are apparently very light themselves as well, nicely machined, and you can see how it's all one piece from the inner to the outer ring on the front there. So that will save a little bit of weight, less bolts on the system, and a little bit smaller for the climbing that we're doing out here for the big ridiculous climbs. 50-34 on there, and then an 11-32 on the back to match. One thing I'm going to also mention about the cranks as well, that they are power meter cranks, so you've obviously got your power when you're up here in the mountains, and it does add a teeny bit of weight, but I like having a power meter on there. On the cassette at the back here, we have an Omni Racer cassette, so 11-32, and this thing is utterly ridiculous. It's like 136 grams for a cassette. And I believe it's 2 pieces, so you have like a front piece and then a rear piece to it. And you can kind of see where that is, where that gold line is on there. But wow, 136 grams for an 1130 cassette. I am utterly impressed. And I think I might have to buy one of these in the future. From here, it kind of looks like your normal steel cassette, but actually it is a full titanium cassette. So it's got a very nice machining on it, and it's a very classy cassette there. For the wheels, we've got a Fast Sports S3 wheel. So kind of got a little bit of depth to it, but this thing is, well, about 1,050 grams. And these are a tubular wheel set. So you don't get many tubulars anymore, but of course you can make them very light. Running on the tires with them as well, we have an FMB tire, so ultra lightweight. We're running them at 25mm at the moment, so a little bit narrower just to save a bit of weight. And you can go a little bit narrower on the smooth roads that we have out here. It doesn't matter as much like it does in the UK. So I've been told that they have like a natural silk casing, unlike your normal cotton that you get, which does actually make the ride very smooth. So I'd quite like to give them a go myself one day with a silk casing on a tyre. Never experienced that before. Finally, last things on the wheels here. So we actually have these like kind of like Silka aero shields. Normally you find these over the stem, but these ones are actually on here to balance the wheel because the wheels are so light that the valve actually makes a difference. And essentially when you just spin the wheel, it just makes it much more balanced. So the wheels actually just spin for ages and they just feel smooth when you're riding along with them. For the through axles, they are from the brand Lightweight, if I can get that into focus there, and just very small, very skinny titanium. These ones are actually a steel axle, but I'm sure they're well machined to be as light as possible. For the pedals, Xpedo SLs here, so nothing ultralight or out of the ordinary, but very good looking base here. It almost looks like a chopped toe carbon and compressed, and well, that oil slick looks pretty awesome as well. But the reason he's got it on here is just so he has a little bit more Q factor to pull the pedals out for his riding style and his position. If you do want though, they do make a titanium version of these pedals, which apparently are extremely light. I don't know the weight, but I'm sure you can quickly Google that online. I've just forgotten something real quick after I've just finished filming. We've got some jockey wheels here from a brand called Ultralight, just to shave a little bit more weight from the cage itself there. And of course, has to be a waxed chain. Look at that. So guys, there it is. Like I said, something very cool, just some really unique features on there. Hopefully it gives you some inspiration on places that you might be able to save weight on your bike. Let me know what you think, or would you do anything further to this? Because I like the idea that it's got a normal saddle on it, it's got normal bottle cages on it, it's got a normal width handlebar on it, and it's still 5.5 kilos. Absolutely mental. But yeah, let me know what you think. How would you upgrade it even further? I've been Jason, this has been Cycling Unboxed. See you in another video.